Some managers treat redundancy and dismissal as two words for the same outcome. They're very much not, and confusing them can expose your business to a legal claim before you've even realized your mistake. The fundamental distinction is redundancy is about the role, dismissal is about the person. Redundancy happens when a job ceases to exist. Something like the business closing a site, reducing headcount, or automating a function. The employee has done nothing wrong, the role is simply no longer needed. Dismissal happens when the issue is with the individual. Poor performance, misconduct, or a breach of company policy. The role may continue, the employee does not. The financial consequence differs too. An employee with at least 2 years of service is entitled to a statutory redundancy payment. A dismissed employee receives notice pay and pay for untaken leave, nothing more. Different routes, different obligations, and different legal frameworks. Getting the label right is only half the job. You then have to run the correct process, and this is where most employers become unstuck. For redundancy, you need a genuine business reason. The role is truly disappearing, not being quietly refilled under a different title. You must consult with the affected employee individually before any decision is made. If you are proposing 20 or more redundancies at one site within 90 days, collective consultation rules apply, and the obligations become significantly more demanding. For dismissal, you need a fair reason and a fair procedure. That typically means documented warnings, a formal hearing, and the right of appeal. Skipping steps does not make the dismissal invalid, but it gives a tribunal grounds to find it unfair. The right label with the wrong process still exposes you. And here is a risk that catches most employers out most often. A manager wants to move a poor performer on, but the dismissal process feels slow, so they frame it as a redundancy instead. A tribunal will look past the label. If the role was filled again shortly after, if selection targeted one individual, or if no genuine consultation took place, the redundancy may be found to be a sham. At that point, you face a potential unfair dismissal claim, and using the wrong process to avoid the right one makes your position harder, not easier. Disguising a dismissal as redundancy does not remove your obligations, it adds to them. So, one question resolves this. Is the role disappearing, or is the person the problem? If the role is genuinely disappearing, the route is redundancy. Establish the business reason, consult properly, and do not refill the position. If the person is the problem and the role continues, the route is dismissal. Follow a fair procedure, document, warn, hear and follow appeals process. Never use one to avoid the obligations of the other, and if you are unsure which applies, take legal advice before you act. A short call with an employment solicitor costs considerably less than getting this wrong.